Ukraine has already received F-16 Fighting Falcons and French Mirage jets, but one aircraft keeps returning to the spotlight: Sweden's Gripen. For months, the focus was on the F-16, while the Gripen remained only a subject of debate. Now the situation is beginning to shift. The Gripen is not just another fighter jet. It was designed to operate from short runways, carry advanced weapons, and challenge even Russia's most modern aircraft. Could this be the game-changer Ukraine has been waiting for? Let's find out. The Saab Gripen is Sweden's most advanced fighter jet, created to challenge aircraft that are bigger, heavier, and far more expensive. Unlike many Western jets, the Gripen was designed for Europe's unique battlefield conditions: short runways, unpredictable weather, and the constant need for rapid deployment. The latest Gripen E can fly at more than twice the speed of sound, and it carries an impressive arsenal. Long-range Meteor missiles give it the ability to strike enemies before they even know it's there, while AMRAAMs and precision bombs allow it to dominate both air-to-air and ground attack missions. For close encounters, the jet is armed with a high-speed Mauser cannon, making it dangerous at every range of combat. But what truly sets the Gripen apart is its technology. The aircraft is equipped with the ES-05 Raven AESA radar, infrared search and track sensors, and advanced electronic warfare systems that allow it to detect, jam, and outmaneuver enemy aircraft. These systems are designed to give pilots maximum situational awareness and survivability, even when facing superior numbers. Combined with its low operating cost and ability to take off from simple roadways, the Gripen is not just another fighter jet. It is a smart, versatile, and resilient platform. Against Russian jets like the Su-35, this Swedish design could give Ukraine a powerful edge in the skies, proving that sometimes agility and intelligence can outweigh brute force. Beyond its weapons and speed, the Gripen's true advantage lies in how it was designed to fight a war in Europe. This jet does not need massive air bases or long, vulnerable runways. Instead, it can take off and land on stretches of highway or short improvised strips, supported by just a handful of ground crew and a single truck of fuel and weapons. Within minutes, the aircraft can be turned around and sent back into combat. For Ukraine, where Russian missiles constantly threaten major airfields, this flexibility could be decisive. It means Gripens could be hidden, dispersed, and kept in the fight even if traditional bases are destroyed. Few modern fighters in the world can operate this way, and it gives the Gripen a level of survivability that Ukraine desperately needs. Another strategic edge is cost and maintenance. The Gripen is one of the most affordable advanced fighters to operate, requiring fewer flight hours, less fuel, and simpler logistics than jets like the Su-35. This makes it ideal for a country under constant pressure, where resources are limited and every sortie must count. The aircraft's advanced electronic warfare suite adds another layer of protection, allowing it to jam enemy radars and disrupt Russian targeting systems. Combined with its ability to integrate seamlessly with NATO communications and weapons, the Gripen is not just a fighter jet, it is a platform built for endurance, resilience, and adaptability. In Ukraine's war of attrition, those qualities could matter just as much as raw firepower. The debate over sending Gripen jets to Ukraine is not only about military hardware, it is about politics, alliances, and the risks of escalation. For Sweden, the Gripen is more than just an export product, it is the backbone of its own air defense. Transferring even a small number would raise questions about Sweden's ability to defend itself at a time when tensions with Russia remain high. Stockholm must balance its new role as a NATO member with the reality that Russia is still a direct neighbor. Within NATO, opinions are divided. Some allies argue that Gripens could immediately strengthen Ukraine's skies and complement the F-16, while others warn that introducing another aircraft type could complicate logistics, training, and maintenance. This political tug-of-war has slowed down any final decision, leaving the Gripen as a symbol of what might be possible, but not yet certain. For Ukraine, every delay means more time exposed to Russian air power, and every rumor of Gripens arriving sparks both hope and frustration. At the same time, preparations have already begun. In 2023, Ukrainian pilots traveled to Sweden for orientation training on the Gripen, including simulator sessions and even limited test flights. The results were encouraging, showing that Ukrainian aviators could adapt quickly to the jet's systems and tactics. This means that, from a technical perspective, the Gripen could be integrated faster than many expected. But the final step depends on political will. Moscow has repeatedly warned that supplying advanced Western fighters would be seen as a direct provocation, and for Sweden, a nation that only recently joined NATO, the risk of retaliation is real. That is why Swedish leaders speak cautiously, suggesting that Gripens may only be transferred in limited numbers, or after further negotiations with allies. In the end, the Gripen is not just a fighter jet, it is a political tool, and whether it flies over Ukraine will depend as much on diplomacy and alliances as on its capabilities in the air. The Gripen is not just another fighter jet. It is the product of decades of Swedish engineering, a machine designed not for show, but for survival. Unlike heavier aircraft that demand massive bases and endless resources, the Gripen was built to thrive in the toughest conditions. It can launch from highways, refuel with only a handful of crew, and return to the skies in minutes. Its radar and electronic warfare systems allow it to see without being seen, to strike without being tracked, and to survive in skies filled with danger. For Ukraine, a nation fighting under constant threat, this is not a luxury, it is a lifeline. Yet the Gripen's story is not only about technology. It is about politics, alliances, and the courage to act. Sweden must weigh its own defense needs against the demands of a brutal war on its doorstep. NATO must decide whether to expand Ukraine's arsenal or risk escalation with Moscow. And Ukraine must wait, knowing that every day without modern air power is another day to vulnerability. The irony is clear. The jet is ready, the pilots have already trained on it, and the battlefield is calling, but diplomacy moves slower than war. Still, the Gripen remains a symbol of what could be, a shift in air power, a message to Russia, and a reminder that innovation can sometimes outweigh brute force. And this is only one chapter in a much larger story. In our next video, we will turn from jets to drones, the silent hunters that are reshaping the battlefield. From kamikaze strikes to long-range surveillance, Ukraine's drone fleet is rewriting the rules of modern warfare and forcing Russia to rethink its defenses. Stay tuned, because the battle for the skies is far from over, and the next chapter is already unfolding.